The qualifier draw has just been made. Dublin will play Cork, Clare will play Laois, and then Wexford and Tipperary getting byes. There will be an open draw once we get into that next round. What are your initial thoughts on that? Dublin versus Cork is fairly juicy.
Yeah, no, it's tasty enough. If you looked at Dublin, maybe 45, 50 minutes into that Kilkenny game, you're thinking they'd be in a bad position going into the qualifiers. But like, who's going into the qualifiers in a better position now? You'd probably have to say Dublin. Dublin showed an awful lot of spirit, an awful lot of heart to get back into the game. Cork had another one of those kind of classic second half fade outs and didn't have lads to stand up when they really needed them. So I think from Matty Kenny's point of view, I think he'll see it definitely as a game that can win and a game that would really get them back on the horse properly. And it would be, to be fair, it would be a big championship win. Like, how many times have they beaten Cork in championship hurling? Not too many, I'd say. So I think it's a massive opportunity for Dublin. And from Cork's point of view, they're not getting any sort of not that there was maybe if they played Laois, it would have been, a relatively softish game, a game that they think they're going to win by 7 or 8 points. But now it's an opportunity for them to get back on the horse as well, with a good victory over, a decent team. So that's definitely the more interesting. I think both of them are interesting, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because from a Laois Clare point of view, like, who would Laois conceivably think that they could beat? After Clare were good against Limerick for long spells, but they'll think if they shut down Tony Kelly that they have a chance.
Yeah, and I think Dublin Cork will actually be a very tasty game. Whatever it is, even about the clash of colours, I think it just looks quite vivid. And that 2013 All-Ireland semi-final was one of the great atmospheres before a game. Obviously, we're not going to have crowds this time, but that was a game that really delivered. Don't know if it's going to be quite that level this time, because both teams are coming off what at times were very flaky performances, but it's a great game to get up for. So I think that will be really good. Clare against Laois, couldn't agree anymore that Clare will have thought, right, this will be the best possible game for us. We'll get a win here. That I'm sure that's how they'll be thinking, and that'll get us kind of built up for the next round in what is going to be a huge clash. Laois definitely would feel, of all the teams, that Clare, given how they went, that's going to be their best chance to progress, and that would really mean a huge year, especially after the disappointing loss to Dublin. So 2 big games, and I think Wexford and Tipperary are definitely going to be happy. Tipperary had a couple of injuries there. Liam Sheedy said after the game yesterday that Seamus Kennedy needs maybe 10 days to get back to full training. Obviously that's 9 now at this stage, which means he'd have gone back to full training the week of whatever clash they're going to get. Wexford, I think they're going to need a bit of time to lick their wounds. Obviously, Davy Fitz wasn't happy with the performance. I'm sure the players were.
Do you think they'll both be happy, or do you think they would just like to get back on the horse again and get another game and get a bit of momentum moving again, rather than they're going into, they might have a few more bodies available, but they're going into the next game, I don't know, it's a bit of an unknown. You don't know how morale is, you don't know how things are. I think both would have preferred to have a game, being honest with you.
I don't think Tipperary would like to have played. I don't. Let's say it worked out. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think Tipperary have a few injuries now, and it's weird that after just one game, it feels like you need a bit of time to recover after that. But it was the manner of the last two. Maybe not with Wexford. Maybe they would have liked to get straight back on the horse. But it remains to be seen. We'll talk an awful lot more about those matches from yesterday on the Monday Hurling show, which will be coming up soon enough. Any final thoughts on this?
No, it's just a strange one for a lot of teams. Usually when they're beaten in championship, you usually have 3 or 4 weeks, as you say, to lick your wounds. And without being smart, usually lads will be going on the beer together and they get back training in the middle of next week. But it's a totally different environment now, and everything is so kind of condensed. But definitely 2 really, really interesting games. Like, from a perspective of getting as many competitive games in this championship as we could have got, I think the draw probably couldn't have worked out better from, a hurling supporter's point of view. You have 2 games that, you'd imagine like Clare would be heavy favourites against Laois and obviously put a massive score against them in Cusack Park. The year they won the All-Ireland, I think they put up a huge score. I think Donald Donovan was the only one that started that didn't score. And on the other side then, Dublin Cork is a game that's probably close enough to 50-50, I'd say. So both really, really interesting games.
Yeah, and just in terms of the venues there, Fintan O'Toole was tweeting, Thurles and Limerick would seem prime natural venues for hurling qualifiers next Saturday, but there's already a game on in the Gaelic grounds on Saturday, Munster senior football semi-final between Limerick and Tip, and Shane Brophy of the Nina Guardian added Nolan Park might get Cork v Dublin. Thurles pitch is already suffering, would think the Munster final would go to Cork. Pitch looked unreal yesterday. So that's it. We'll talk a bit more about hurling on the Hurling Show.